Another way you can really get good selections is by using the Quick Mask Selection tool. So that's what I'm going to go over in this video. Again, I'm just going to select the lips, and then instead of using the methods that I covered in the previous video to touch it up, we're going to use Quick Mask Selection. So this is an option that you may just add to your whole workflow, or it might replace other parts of your workflow. I'm going to make sure I'm in the right tool. I'm going to select the lips again. Just do kind of a fast selection over here. And with my selection still active, I'm going to go down to the bottom of my Tools panel, and I'm going to click on the icon Edit in Quick Mask Mode. So in this mode, I get to control my selections with my paint tools, which you might find to be easier actually than working with these selection tools. So one thing is to notice is that immediately my foreground and background color changed to black and white instead of the colors I had before. And what I want to do is take my paintbrush tool, just my regular paintbrush tool. I'm not taking this history paintbrush tool, and also make sure I'm not in the quick selection. It's the paintbrush tool. I'm going to make my brush an awful lot smaller. And currently I have it set so that if I paint, it's on black. So let me show you what happens if I paint into the lip on black. So I'm painting into the lip. Oh, I want to make sure my opacity up here is at 100%. It wasn't from, another thing. So I'm going to paint into the lip black. And it cuts in red, actually. So even though I'm painting, it looks like black here, it shows up here in this preview as red. I'm going to switch out of Quick Mask Selection tool so I can show you what that did. So when I painted in with black, which actually looked like red, I'm adjusting the look of my selection. I'm going to switch back in. So what I need to do is to paint with white the lips, so that way I am touching up the edges of my selection here. And I can just kind of keep going, but if I went out too far like that, let's see what that looks like. You can see how it ended up moving out my selection. So I'm going to go back to my quick mask mode, and I'm going to take the black and I'm going to paint it over. So I'm getting rid of that. And now I could go over here. So this can be nice because you could use like a very soft edge brush. So up here I'm using a brush that has a soft edge. And now I'm going to zoom all the way in and go back to my paintbrush and make that really small. And so now instead of using that quick selection tool to take out the part of the mouth that I don't want to select, I am painting it in. So you might find that this is an easier way to work. Like you could just make general really big selections and then go and touch them up in this quick mask mode. I find it like a lot easier to paint in the selections than using those tools. Okay, and so I feel pretty satisfied with that. And now if I'm happy with that, I could just do my Control J and I could put it out onto another layer. If I wanted to get to those options of being able to smooth it or expand it that I was showing in those other videos under Select and Mask, that option's not here in the option bar because I'm still on my paint tool. I could just take any one of my selection tools, it doesn't matter which one, just select that one to be able to access that select and mask option again. And now if I wanted to touch it up even more, smooth it out more, or shift the edge, or any of those things, I can still do that. Click OK. All right, and then as we saw in the last video, if I wanted, I could even save this selection and be able to come back to it. So for this upcoming project, I do expect that you are either working with, you make a general selection, and then you go into quick mask mode and you touch it up, or you make a general selection and then you go up to select and mask and you touch it up, you refine it, or you make a general selection, you go into quick mask mode, you touch it up, and then you take a selection tool, go back up to select and mask and touch it up even more. So when I'm talking about refining your selections, I'm talking about this now being part of a multi-step process. So please do choose some images that will challenge you, not images that just have solid white backgrounds, because the best way to learn these tools is simply practicing. All right, let me know if you have any questions.